A lush island of textures, of nature, of sound, of storm, and of course that of textile. A year ago I was wandering through Bali, and today it is only a distant memory. It has taken me a while, but today I finally opened up the bundles I brought back home with me. Last year during my trip to Bali, I shared a trip to the fabric market. So if you are following me on Instagram, you know that I had taken you to an Instagram live session of a textile market in Kunklung in Semarapura, Bali. You travel to Indonesia and don't go looking out for textiles. That doesn't really happen, at least not in my case. And so I am driving to Semarapura, 40 minutes away from the Ubud city centre, to explore the local textile market here. In the heart of Semarapura is the Klungkung market, one of the main hubs for Bali's textiles. Inside this covered air-conditioned market, you'll find stalls stacked with endek, songket and other woven cloths. Just outside, the local market is far more chaotic, a mix of fresh produce, ceremonial umbrellas, everyday goods, and some textiles too. But I was told that if you're looking for the purest selection of local fabric, this is the place to start. And now that I'm going to sit down and start cutting these beauties up to make products, I thought of making a haul for YouTube. It's definitely due. So I'm going to start with this ceremonial fabric called the chepuk. It is from the island of Nusa Penida. Its concentric geometric shapes is said to have a protective effect on the wearer, and so you would often see people wrap it around their shoulders as they sit down for ceremonies. This is what a newborn baby would be wrapped in typically. The other beautiful fabric from Nusa Penida is this called the rang rang, usually characterized by these traditional zigzag patterns. You might have seen me use this one as a bed and runner in my bedroom makeover. The other fabric that now you're going to see is this beauty, which is called a songket. This is typically woven in narrow widths and would be joined. Then this width would be joined to make a continuous garment which is worn at the waist, typically for wedding ceremonies. These come in a couple of varieties. One is completely purely woven, and that's called songket asli. It has a weave, and then the birds in the metallic thread have been embroidered on top. You can make out from the back that it has been embroidered. Definitely one of those things that I'm going to be using to create something for a client. This is called a Selingdan songket, which is like a belt which is worn at the waist to hold the songket in place. The other beautiful weave I have is this songket. Aren't these motifs here just gorgeous? The Kala motifs, the dragon motifs right about here. This too comes with embroidered patterns about here in a nice silver thread. This also is an embroidered piece, as you can notice from the back. So this too is going to get used to make something. And the other fabric that I have, this is a songket asli. It is not from Bali, it's from Lombok. You'll notice that it has a slightly different color palette and patterning. The biggest difference is, of course, the width of the entire weave. The Lombok songkets tend to be slightly dense and with bold linear motifs. This one has a traditional ikat fabric called the endek. It has beautiful all over embroidery motifs. This too is going to get converted into something very pretty. So now that you've seen the details of the fabric in the haul, let me show you exactly what I'm making from some of these fabrics. Let's dive straight into that process. So what we are working towards today is an order for 4 runners. 3 of them made from the Bali textiles I just showed you. But there is also a 4th runner which is going to be made with a very different mix of textiles. That too is quite an interesting one, and I thought I would just include it in this video. The very first runner we are making will use the songket with the Kala or the dragon motifs.
follows the conventional lines I usually use for runners. Two ends of the highlight fabric, in this case the patches of sonket, anchored with a body. For the body here, I'm using a black Banarsi silk with antique zari buta, which complements the silver embroidery in the sonket. The piece will be bordered with maroon Banarsi silk, and the backing is also a rich silk, so the runner remains fully reversible. Once the entire piece is sewn together, I'll add the trims, but that comes later. So there, the entire piece has been planned. I have taken a photograph for my tailor. On to the second piece. Most of these pieces are made to the client's specifications, and the client wanted this runner to be really long. The full width of this orange end deck I am going to be using to make this runner is a limitation. We will have to cut it into half and add extra fabric in the middle to give it the desired length. This piece is interesting because the borders will be made from vintage tribal embroidery fabric from Kutch. The chocolate brown base and multicolored threads of the embroidery on top, paired with the orange ikat and its gold zari, creates a rich combination. The edging will pick up the zari in the end deck, using black Banarsi silk with tiny butas. And the reverse side will be Banarsi Chanderi silk. Once this runner is composed and the photographs duly taken, it's all set to hit the tailoring workshop. I first encountered the sonket many years ago on my very first trip to Bali. I still remember walking into a small boutique in Ubud and seeing a vintage sonket. I was a journalist back then, traveling on a shoestring budget. Owning it at that time was far beyond my reach. Ever since, though, the weave has stayed on my mind. So to find not only the means to bring one home now, but also the chance to work with it feels really special. This piece, though, is not a vintage sonket. It's a contemporary weave, far more accessible than the one I saw back then. But trust me, the memory of the original sonket, its textures and colors have never left me. While I got a little lost in nostalgia about my very first trip, I forgot to tell you what this piece is all about. This medley in yellow and purple also uses the sonket. For the body, I'm using textured matka silk in two tones of yellow, one slightly golden, the other deep mustard. I've added accents in purple silk and edged it with two different kinds of green silk to give the runner the contrast and richness it deserves. As usual, the backing also is silk fabric, which makes it a versatile product. And finally, almost like a little bonus, I'm working on a fourth runner. This one is included in the order too, but it does not feature the Balinese fabric. For this one, the client wanted something very different, and something very different is what I am giving them. I have been collecting Lambani head patches for some time now, and for each runner, I'll be using about 6 of these patches, complete with their attached boho silver coin trims. To build this runner, I am starting by carefully pinning the Lambani patches onto a base fabric, keeping them evenly spaced. Once that is done, I'll move them to the sewing machine and stitch them in place, taking care that the needle does not strike the mirrors or the metal or the coin trims. If needed, I will have to hand tack certain areas to secure them. It's a slightly complicated process, but I'm sure the results are going to be well worth the effort. So this patch is done, and I have finished 2 of them, one for each end of the runner. And now you know the drill from here. I lay out the design, take a quick photo for reference, and then bundle up all the different elements to send off to the workshop.
Just because you deserve to know, this is what happens when I'm working with textiles.
The tailor has just come and collected all the pieces, and I'm waiting for them to come back to me because my work is far from finished. I will be attaching trims and tassels, some from what I already have in stock, and some which I am going to sit down now and make. A week has gone by since I sent them off to the workshop, and the pieces are finally back. This is the stage I always look forward to: sitting down, adding the trims, and giving the runners its final finish.
The runner we made with the Lambani head patches with the coins. It has turned out quite boho and funky, exactly the way I wanted to. Now, just on this edge, if you see, the sides and the center is not looking quite complete, so I am going to sit down and add trims there and finish this whole picture. Firstly, to patch up this gap between the two patches, I'm going to add coins in the gap areas. This was such a fun, one-of-a-kind product to make. I absolutely love it when I get clients who honor my intention to do something new each time and who are open-minded as well. Then is when I feel I'm able to really give my best. Now the problem with these Mandara products is also that although a lot of people want them, a lot of them will ask me for uniformity. There is no way on earth that I can ensure that I choose exactly the same coins all over this trim, because these are old pieces collected over a long period of time. It is not as if it has been made in a factory, so I can ensure the exact finish. And according to me at least, that is part of the beauty. Although I have to say I'm exceedingly lucky with most of my clients. Some clients don't understand the temperament of this material. So there is no way that I can ensure that each batch that I select for just a piece is completely well finished. So I have these woolen tassels that I have saved from a Rawari blanket, and what I'm doing for this runner here is these birds that I'm going to be attaching for on the ends of the runner, just to give it a nice vibrant boho look. I'm going to attach the tassel right at the bottom here, like so. Even if this is looking a little rugged and worn, it has that authentic charm that is so hard to get in one of these new resham embroidery tassels. Like these here are shiny, super fine tassels, but I don't think they match the charm of something which is authentic, old. The wool has been sourced from a local animal, and probably the village women have dyed it. So this kind of shows in the textures of this piece. Just twist it around a couple of times to give it strength.
This piece is finally done. I am only adding a few final details like a fine running stitch on the edges to tie the whole piece together. So 2 runners done and 2 more to go. I am going to finish these using existing trims that I already have. I'll see you at the end of attaching everything for the final reveal.